camera action.
Whose helmet is that?
Mine.
Okay. The heater guy is off.
The heater's off.
The machine said it.
Beep, bop, boop. We're good to go.
All right.
My name is Scott.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Sherzy.
Hey guys, welcome to Steel Mountain Moto. Today we want to take you through gear. Okay? Gear is purchased because you want to protect yourself when you're out on the bike. You may have heard the adage, maybe you haven't because you're a new rider, but if you dress for the ride, you dress for the slide, not for the ride. Okay? We don't really adhere to that much in our riding style. Sherzy is probably the most protected out of any of us, but we are going to take you through all the trials and tribulations we've been through, trying to find the right gear that works for us and what we would recommend to you. Just looking at different styles, different options, some things that we've wasted money on. You saw from the intro the amount of junk we have and we've collected over the last few years of riding. We want to help you to make or not make those mistakes. We want to make you a little bit more aware of what's out there, and maybe you're going to save a little bit of money. So first off, we're going to go over our upper body, our torso. We're going to talk about jackets, and when we're talking about jackets, there's a lot of jackets that will offer you pockets with armor, or there will be jackets that have armor built into them. We're going to show you what those look like. This product is called D30. This is what you'll find in a lot of jackets. This is a back protector. This portion here is going to go over your shoulder, okay? And then this one here is going to cover your elbow, okay? Obviously you're gonna have two of these because you have two sides. But D30 is going to be nice and flexible and everything, allow you to move, but on impact it hardens up and is supposed to protect you. Now, I have done a little bit of research as of late, and there's a little bit of research out there to say that this armor is not as protected or protective as they said in the past. So do your own research before you get into buying this kind of stuff, and make sure that you're, investing in what you need. Now, obviously, we always find that some protection is better than no protection. So it's not a bad idea to get yourself with some armor. Sherzy, what do you got there to talk about?
What I have here is a textile jacket with armor built in, reflectors everywhere, and on those summer days, this will be a nice warm jacket to ride in. On the windy and rainy days, not the best. Out of all the textile jackets that we are going to review today, this will give you the most armor. Marcus, what do you have?
So I've got a hoodie here. So this one does have built-in protection for it. It actually didn't come with back support. You can put it in there. So a lot of jackets you can put in armor after the fact. So with this hoodie, I got it because it looked great. I bought it for the aesthetic. It does have that liner inside, but you put it on, it's gonna look like a normal hoodie. Will it give you extra protection? Yes, more than a regular hoodie, arguably. So I would say something like that's probably a little bit better though. What do you got?
Well, I don't know. This is the very first jacket that I ever bought, and you'll see that it almost looks brand new. And the reason for that is I feel that I maybe wasted a little bit of money on this one. This is actually the jacket that we pulled the armor out of to show you all about it. It is a 2-in-1 jacket, so it does have a quilted liner that will come out of it. And if I do remove the liner out of it, it goes to a mesh. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can see right through that. There's a little bit of more structure built into the top of the jacket and around your chest and shoulders. But what I found with this jacket is with the quilting, it was a little too hot, and with the quilting out, it was too cold. So it didn't really work that well for me. Again, with textile jackets, not the best for those super windy days, not the best for those rainy days. This stuff gets soaked, and the last thing you want to be on a bike is soaked. Okay, Sherzy, so what do we go into when we're talking about staying warm, staying protected? What do you got there?
What I have here is Harley's 2-in-1 jacket over here. This does not have any armor. It's got reflectors, Harley stuff here, and on those little warmer days, you can open up the zip, open up the back zip here, and let the air flow straight through.
Nice.
In the cold, very nice.
So can you put armor in that jacket though?
You cannot put any armor in this jacket.
But I will say that Harley does offer, in a lot of their jackets, they do offer pockets for your armor. Now be very careful because you could be into spending $600, $700, $800 on a Harley-Davidson jacket. Now they do have a lot of really nice features, Sherzy, if I may. They have what's called an action back. So when you're reaching forward to get to your hand controls, the jacket will pull forward without shortening up your wrist, which is really nice. So I do find that there's a lot of manufacturers or jacket suppliers that will have something like this, but I find that Harley does a really great deal with it. The other thing is a lot of their armor is sold separately, so if you're spending $800, you might want to put another couple $100 aside just for the armor, right?
Absolutely.
Me personally, I go into more of a layered system. So what I like to do is kind of have a little bit more of something a little bit lighter to wear, and then I'll put leather over top. So it's always nice to have your layers on the outside. It's also really nice to have everything that zips as a full zip, so you don't have to remove your helmet. So what I have here, another Harley-Davidson jacket. I do have that action back as we talked about. It does have a piping with some reflector in it. It's got a cool vintage style. It's got full leather arms. They are pre-curved, which is nice as well. You're not fighting that leather to get your controls. You can put your armor in this. I don't wear it with armor because I'm a tough guy, I guess. But it has like a Cordura, maybe a Kevlar. A lot of these textile jackets are like that. But what I like to do is I wear this, and then I will throw a leather vest over top. So much more rigid. It's a very thick leather, a very thick cowhide, and then this combined with my leather sleeves that I have in the other jacket gives me all the protection that I need. Yeah? And then when I'm in the summer, a little bit more lighter weather, I might go to something a little bit thinner. Again, this is more of that denim Cordura, a little more protective than riding in a t-shirt. It's probably not the best, but it does pretty good. And then I think Marcus has the best vest system out there. He's gonna have to reach for it. I'll pull it out for him. But this is probably one of his best purchases. But Marcus, why don't you take us through what that thing offers?
So, unlike any of your leather vests, though, this is the only vest that has armor built in.
That is true.
So, it does have full back support, it does have the chest support in it, but that's it. It's just a vest, remember that. So, your arms are completely exposed. For me, because I'm a little bit of a taller guy, my lower back is also exposed, and you know that lower tailbone is the most important. I did buy this one off of Looks. This is one that you will see a lot of the trendy Instagram, TikTok riders will get, and that's pretty much why I bought it as well. It has some crash rating in it. It's a great vest, but again, it is just a vest. It's only going to be protecting your torso, not your limbs.
Yeah, not so good. Okay, so we've covered our torso. I think next we're going to jump into footwear, yeah? So first off, I have not the coolest to ride a Harley on. So I went and bought these for my motorcycle course, and they scare you and tell you about boots and what you should be wearing, what you shouldn't be wearing. So I thought it'd be best to go and buy myself a full-on motorcycle shoe. Now there are motorcycle boots that come all the way up. There are, there's a lot of technology when it comes to motorcycle boots, but this is more of a sport bike rider kind of thing here. The whole thing about a motorcycle specific boot or shoe is that it is very rigid. So the sole in this is very rigid. It has our little guard here to cover where our shifter is going up and down. There's heel cups in here to offer you more protection around your ankle bones, and then the portion back here, the heel, is a lot stiffer. So in terms of something that's going to protect you if you're going to get crushed under the bike, if you're going to get hit by a car or something like that, this is probably your best bet. It just doesn't look very cool.
Not on a Harley.
Not on a Harley. It might look okay on your sport bike, but we don't really talk about sport bikes.
I do have something that is for a Harley, though.
Oh, what is that?
Harley-Davidson branded boots. If you don't remember that it is a Harley-Davidson boot, it has a Harley badge, it has the HD, on the inside it says Harley-Davidson.
I think it's on the zipper too.
Oh, it is on the zipper. It's on the zipper, and it's on the sole. In case you forget, it's a Harley-Davidson boot. But Harley-Davidson does their leathers very well, whether it's all the way from jackets to head to toe. They do their leathers very well. It's a great boot. It does have a little bit of shifter protection on it. It's a very rigid sole. It has a lot of grip on it. They're easy to get on and off because they have this little zipper at the side, but when you introduce a zipper, you also introduce a little bit of water getting in. So it's not a full watertight shoe. Water's gonna get in right at the bottom. Wet socks are not a fun time.
Oh, brutal, brutal, brutal. And then Sherzy, you've got one thing to talk about, and why are we talking about this Chelsea boot?
This Chelsea boot is
not very protective. We'll start with that.
This Chelsea boot is not.
Why do we bring this up? we were talking earlier about what our gear is doing for us, not doing for us. We thought, okay, what's the new rider going to do? So a lot of times a new rider is going to go out and buy a pair of boots, and they're going to be like, well, I'll use these boots for my motorcycle riding course, but then I'll be able to wear them out on date night or do this or do that. So some people will go to this style of boot. Why can't we wear that?
No ankle support.
No ankle support
No
whatsoever. So you get into a Chelsea boot. The unfortunate thing is these little tiny elastic bands will not cover your ankles. Okay, and what's crazy is you go to your motorcycle course. There was actually 2 guys on my motorcycle course that were sent home to change their boots. But just think if you had a piece of leather here, I don't think it'd be that much more protective. But don't go and buy these to think that you're going to ride them to a motorcycle course to do a motorcycle test. They will not allow you to wear a boot like this. So this particular one is a Blundstone. Probably not the best for you to ride,
Not the best.
but you know,
Stylish is good.
yeah, you look cool while you wear it, but you know, that's about it. And it's Australian, which I hear is a good thing too. But so we've gone over footwear, we've gone over, what should we do next?
Let's do hands.
Let's do hands. Okay, so Marcus. So Marcus is a special kind of guy. He really likes blue.
I like
He
blue
likes
a lot.
blue 1. He likes, well, we should go the other way.
No, let's start with the
Okay,
good
well,
pair.
Okay, let's start with the good pair.
So, my favorite pair of gloves. So, these are very thin material gloves. As you can see, I've bought them a few times for various reasons, but they're the most comfiest for me. You really feel your grips. They're super lightweight. You're never gonna sweat in them, but that's where it also gets you. You get cold, they're not ideal as well. They have holes in the fingers though, so you can not use your phone when you're on your bike.
But if you do pull over on the side of the road and you need to look at your nav or answer a phone call while you're parked in a designated stopping zone, they're great.
It's quick, it's nice, it's easy. The other cool thing, if you saw where Scott pulled them from, it's got the magnets on it.
So we got a little steel pole back here. It sticks right on there, which is exactly the same as your tank, your fender, whatever you want to stick it to. They're fantastic.
But they're not that protective. Again, some protection is better than no protection. I burnt myself on it, melted right through, but bet you it could have been a hell of a lot worse if I wasn't wearing gloves. I've been in a little bit of a slide on them as well. That actually didn't tear up my hands as bad as the gloves look. Couple cuts here and there, but I would say they still protect it. They have the sliders on the bottom as well. Sliders protected me. I can still grab stuff and feel it. I like them. That's why I bought so many, and I will continue to keep buying them.
Then we've got a little bit more of an advanced version of those.
Yeah, you can get way better, right? If you do value your hands a little bit more than I do, you can get something that has a leather palm on the inside. It's perforated, so they're very breathable. You're not going to sweat in this. Has nylon on the outside. It's got wicked cool decals on the outside of the hands. Does offer the magnets. Also has the finger holes. They're great. I think they're the best gloves around. Whether you want something super light or a little bit thicker, that's my go-to.
Absolutely. And I think we should point out, this brand is Canadian. These guys are awesome. Their customer support's been amazing. I've had a couple of issues with warranty, as has Marcus. We've always gotten our stuff from them on time. They are a great company. Should we plug them a little bit? We might as well.
I'm plugging them right now. Thank you, Odin.
Odin Manufacturing. Now, they don't supply anything to us. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. We really love their gear. From rain gear to gloves, their stuff is pretty awesome. We've been really happy with it. Sherzy, why don't you take us through they're a little bit more of a summer glove, some different options that we've got available.
This is a summer glove. These are nice and armored. They got the little perforated for your hot summer days, so they're not too sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Mesh. These little armor here. And I got some.
Do those ones have the sliders on the palms too?
They do have the sliders on the palms.
No,
Right.
no, no.
Right in this. Well, these ones, those ones. Let's look at this guy here. So we got a little slider on that, right? So the whole thing was sliding. So let's say you're coming off your bike, and the first thing we do is we put our hands out, or you should, to try to protect yourself. And sliders are great because they allow your hands to gracefully graze the asphalt. So, and you know, if you don't have something there, so if we look at one of Marcus's gloves or even my gloves with those leather palms, most likely you're like the leather palm has no protection. Really, it will slide. It's leather, but I think it's more of like a deer skin. But the whole thing is, a lot of times you'll take your hand, you put it down, and then your hand folds over. You break a wrist. There may or may not be somebody that broke a wrist not too long ago while sliding. So that's why these, you know, the protectors on your knuckles, on your palm are good. And then what do you got in those ones?
These ones are the same thing, except these got armor in here.
Oh, these are
sneaky.
the
Right?
sneaky
Yeah.
armor.
These ones are not perforated, so they will help you a little bit more in the colder rides, and they also have the sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another one from our friends at Odin. These are what we call a gauntlet glove. A lot of brands have a gauntlet glove, and what that means is that they're long, right? These will go over top of your rain jacket. They're going to keep you a little bit warmer. These have a great big band across them to keep you kind of cinched in. They do have, like Sherzy says, the sneaky padding here. There are no options to use your electronic devices, but probably in the rain it's not going to work anyway. Leather palms, they are very warm. These are what I've worn through some of the thickest downpour rain that we've had on our journeys. And I think with that, maybe we should talk about rain gear.
Yeah. So
Maybe that should be the next
let's get rid of that
thing we get
stuff.
into. Yeah. I'm going to go for a little walk. I will be right back.
I'm gonna start with a nice rain jacket here from Harley. Again, Harley does its really good moto clothes very well. So this jacket is great because it's a full zip all the way from the top to the bottom. So when you're at the roadside, you don't need to take your helmet off. You just throw this right on, get it out in the saddlebag. You can wear it off the Harley as well because it's got a hood on the back. I've tucked it away here. And it is a little bit reflective. Although the jacket is black and gray, the Harley-Davidson logo is reflective. That's what I like about it. Is it the warmest? No, not really. It's a very lightweight jacket, but ideally it's meant for throwing stuff, or sorry, throwing this over what you're already wearing. But I do wear it every single time. What do you got?
What do I have?
We don't have any yet because I'm not ready to.
Wandering around.
Man, we screwed that part up. Okay, so let's just. We're gonna go through one more thing. So I was looking around because I thought I had my jacket sitting out.
You wanna?
We're cutting?
You want to keep rolling?
Oh, I was gonna keep rolling.
Okay, sure, keep rolling.
Keep rolling. Yeah. So, what I was looking for, I forgot that I had packed everything back away in my rain bag that I keep in the bike. But I wanted to show you guys something that I work with and some of the things that I pack away. So, Marcus talked about a full zip on the jacket. I go a different route, and I've kind of found over the time, again, it's a great company, great jacket, but I have what's called an anorak. So this has a pocket where you can keep all your stuff, maybe a second pair of gloves. You're going to the big, hot, heavy gloves, but then it gets really humid, and you want to pull those gloves out, stuff them away, and grab another pair. This one doesn't zip all the way down. The challenge with that is we pull over the side of the road. I've got to rip my helmet off real quick without getting my hair wet. And then I've got to get it back on over top. But I do like the anorak jacket for what I'm doing. But Marcus obviously has a black jacket. Now, his does have the reflectors, which he talked about. Camouflage probably isn't the best when you're out in the rain. And, you know, visibility is key. You need to be seen by the cars that are driving behind you. So what do we have there, Sherzy, to look at?
What we have here is same jacket like Scott mentioned, except it's high visibility. You do have to take your helmet off on the side to put this on. And
No, that one you don't. That one's a full zip.
this is a full zip.
Yeah, that one's a full zip.
This is a full zip. I apologize.
Retake, forget that part. Full zip, you don't have to take your
Full
jacket
zip.
off.
You don't have to take it off.
Yeah, but this one has reflectors.
This
It's
one
high
has
visibility. It's really great. But the problem is, when you get into motorcycle riding rain gear, there's no difference from this to something that you can wear climbing a mountain, or you can get from a garbage bag, or you can get, like we've used everything. We've used garbage bags. We put shopping bags over our feet. We've done all kinds of things to stay dry. The really crappy yellow plastic, we've done all of that, okay? You do not have to spend $150 on a rain jacket when you can just wear a regular rain jacket, go to a hardware store, and get yourself one of these, okay? We don't have to spend a fortune, okay? You go get yourself a safety vest. You put that over top your rain jacket. Doesn't matter if it gets wet, but at least you're gonna be seen, okay? Now, we don't do any of this, but it's a great idea, right?
You
At least I
probably
own a high-vis jacket. It's just lost its you know, rainability or water tightness,
Waterproofness, I'd say.
waterproofness.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, ideally, like, yeah, as you said, a jacket needs to be waterproof, but none of these jackets have armor. So, absolutely,
No.
you're right. They're not motorcycle rated. They're just a typical rain jacket,
yeah,
I'd say.
they're keeping you dry. They're keeping you warm, and really, a lot of this stuff,
You wear it
we
on
would.
top.
Yeah,
You
we
wear it
would
on top of
suggest
the
that
gear.
you're going to size up and you're going to put this over top of your gear, right? Like that's what we do. We put it over top of our gear that we're currently running. I would say I'm a huge fan of these. I don't know if I was the first to get these guys or one of you guys were, but I live and die by these. These things are awesome. These are little booties. These are from Harley-Davidson. There are other options out there. I think that these ones are probably the best. They're 40, 45 bucks. You forget them, you can get them at every Harley store. You know exactly how they're going to go on every time. They are really wicked. So Marcus is going to try to show us here. It's a lot tougher to do without the boot actually on, but it has like a canvas kind of front to it. The back is empty. It just kind of slips over the back of your boot. It velcros all the way up, and then you're going to put your pants in over top of these, and they're going to keep you so dry. You're going to be the happiest dude on the road, because there's nothing worse. Like you guys have seen, I've dumped out water, 10 cups of water, a gallon of water if you're looking in America, to be dry. So a couple of additional things to those booties, to this, to that. We've been talking about keeping warm. We've been talking about keeping dry. There's just a couple more things that I want to touch on. You guys wanted to as well. Marcus, why don't you take us through what a pair of pants like this will do, and what the reason are. So these are going to go underneath your regular pants, but Marcus, why don't you take it away, buddy? You go.
These are probably your best friends if you want to start your riding season a little bit earlier, or make it go a little bit longer when it's the end of the year, because we only get about 6 months of riding season-ish up here in good cold Canada. These are heated pants.
Oh, the most beautiful thing ever.
All right, these are great. These are from Harley, and they come with a plug-in here. Now, most touring bikes, you can plug them right in. Otherwise, you buy the adapter, you wire it in. Super easy. You're not going to be stuck to the bike. You're going to fall off that bike. That's going to pull off. Again, you don't plan on falling, though. But they're warm. They're going to keep you nice and toasty. It's got a couple layers of heating.
Yeah.
It keeps you warm primarily on your thighs, your shins as well, and it's your best friend. If you want to stay warm, you want to stay toasty, and start bragging to your friends when you're riding.
Oh, so warm. And I think, these ones are mine. They do have a spot in the lower back that keeps warm. It's like sitting in your car in a heated seat. It is absolutely amazing. So heated gear, you can do plug-in. Every bike has a battery. You can plug into your battery on any bike. So whether you're riding a Sportster right up to a full-on bagger, you're riding an Indian, a Triumph, whatever you're doing, every bike has a battery. You can set this up for every bike. There are also battery-operated options. For me personally, again, these are mine. I like to plug into the bike. The bike is always with me. I don't have to carry any extra chargers, anything like that, and it works. Another thing to keep us warm and dry is, again, another pair of rain pants. So these are a little bit more motorcycle specific. They have a grippy butt on them. They also cinch in a little bit here on the legs, so they're going to stay away from your exhaust. And they also cinch in at the bottom, so they're not flapping in the wind. So a little bit more motorcycle specific, but again, you do not have to spend crazy amounts of money. These are almost $300, I think. We don't have to spend that kind of money. It's just if you ride a fancy bagger, you're just expected to have all the nicest gear too. And then Sherzy, Sherzy loves a good pair of these. What are these, Sherzy? Do you want me to hold them up so we can get them? Let's see if we can get them up into the shot here.
Let's see. So, leather chaps. Not the warmest, but will keep you warmer, I should say.
I think they're the warmest. I used to love wearing my chaps. Once I went to the big bagger, I didn't wear them as much anymore, but you have a little bit more exposed when you're riding. Yeah. So what do you find with these? Like, obviously, leather is going to be protective if you're going to ride, but these big things are keeping you warm, right?
Oh, 100% they'll keep you warm. It blocks the wind.
Blocks the wind, and that's the biggest thing. The wind coming through is a major component. Things to keep in mind when we're picking out gear is your major arteries run down the inside of your legs, they run underneath your armpits, so the spots that get really warm in your body is where you're going to lose the most amount of heat. So if you picture you're riding, you've got a bike in between, your inner thighs are exposed, your arms are out, the armpits are exposed as well. So to keep those places warm, a really great idea. The last thing you want to do is become hypothermic when you're on the road. You're not going to notice. You fall off your bike, your friends have to come back and pick you up. It is a bad, bad day. Right?
Absolutely. Your best friend is just combine it all, right? You're gonna wear your heated pants under your rain pants. You can throw your leathers on top. That's pretty much what Sherzy does every time, right?
He stacks it up. Stack that up. It doesn't matter how hot, how cold it is. He stacks up those layers. But that is what we found Layering is the best, I think, out of anything. Picking the right materials for your ride. If you're just a guy that's going out between 2 in the afternoon and 4 p.m., you're going to be great with something textile, something that breathable, all that kind of stuff. But if you're running, like we've run some really long days, we've crushed a lot of miles in a day, we've run from dusk to dawn, we've changed gear on the side of the road, we've ridden half of the way, we get stopped at a border crossing, we're jumping off the bike, we're switching everything up, and we're going the rest of the way. This is what you need to do, what you got to buy, and don't waste your money on the junk, right? So then I think we've got our hands, we've got our feet, we got our lower, we got our upper. What does that leave us with?
I think the most important piece of gear is your helmet.
The helmet. Oh. Can you believe there's places that still don't wear helmets?
Unbelievable.
We ride through those places. We still rock a helmet. We're going to take a couple minutes. It's going to be 1 second for you. We're just going to tidy this stuff up, and we're going to bring out the most important part of your gear and tell you why it's probably a good idea that you wear a helmet and don't waste your money on a shitty helmet, a bad helmet. Don't waste your money on a terrible helmet. Invest in keeping your head in one piece. Okay, guys, so into helmets. We're going to talk about the most important feature of your body, and that's your head, your brains, your pretty face, all that kind of stuff. So the helmet is totally up to you. All depends on how much protection you want to have, but something like this is probably not all the protection you need. We lovingly call this in our world a skull bucket. The only great thing about this is probably the clasp. It's not a D-ring, nice and easy to put on with your gloves on. However, not very protective. So if I'm wearing this, my whole face is exposed. I really don't have the amount of protection that you really need. I think it's called a skull bucket because the emergency services can just come along and sweep your remains into this and carry it to the funeral home for you. Not the best protection. And it's crazy that there's places that choose not to even wear a helmet, but this is the next best thing to no helmet. No protection, some protection better than no protection. So we go from the skull bucket, we run into something like this, and this is lovingly referred to as a 3/4 helmet. You can have a really low profile one of these, you can have like a mushroom head, whatever you want to have, but one of these, we don't have a lot of wind protection. So a lot of folks will go to different options like this. So something like this will be a bubble shield, kind of that retro look. Some guys like to rock that. It does protect your whole entire face. If we go to something that could be a half shield, right? So this is a cool look too. Lets my beard flow in the wind. I really like it, but again, not very protective to protect your jaw, your lower face, your teeth. Lots of people like their teeth. Okay, and then we could go to something like this with some safety glasses, whatever the case may be. When it does get dark outside, we are going to have a lot of bugs and everything flying around. You do want to make sure that your eyes are protected. So a 3/4 helmet, the next best thing to a skull bucket maybe. Then we go to 3 different versions I have here of a full face helmet. So, listen, we were talking earlier about high visibility. Something like this is my son's old helmet. It's pretty cool. It's a high vis color. Marcus's old lady also wears a high vis helmet. Super cool design. It's done by Simpson. But something like this will keep us visible, looks cool, and it is a full face. Has a clear visor. Not a whole lot of additional features to this helmet, but it will keep your jawline covered, keeps your entire head covered, has your eyes covered, and that's going to keep you safe while you're on the road. Now, we talk about clear visor. I'm going to talk to you about these 2 helmets here because visors become another issue that you have to contend with while you're riding. So, I have here Sherzy's helmet, a Bell Roland Sands design, super cool looking helmet. Now, what he's done, he outsmarted both Marcus and I. He has got himself a transition lens, okay? So when the sun hits this, just like those guys that have the sunglasses that go a little darker, I don't know if you can actually see, but there's a little bit of tint with the light we have on now. But this will go to a completely black or smoked finish, and then when it's dark outside, it goes back to clear. So super cool. You don't have to carry an extra visor with you, and that is another challenge we face. So, Marcus and I both rock the Simpson helmet. Again, nothing to do with brands here, but it is quite a cool helmet, whether you do a modular or you just do a full face. So we have our visor. We have inside here an additional sun visor, okay? So I can have this open, I can have the sun shield down, I can have some airflow coming through, I can also close this down, and then my particular helmet is what we call a modular, okay? So this will come up, I can have that visor down or not, I can take a sip of water, I can eat a taco, maybe a hamburger, have a submarine sandwich, whatever I want to eat, I can do it, and then when I want full protection, I can close this back down. Now, one thing that we should look for when we're selecting a helmet is maybe a helmet with a system called pin lock. We'll come in for a closer view of that. But pin lock allows you to put an additional shield on the inside that can be tinted, it can be transitional, it can do whatever you want. Oh, and the inside visor as well. We can do clear, we can do black, we can do amber, you can do whatever you want there. But this will allow you to have in cold weather, in rainy weather, so that you don't have your shield fogging up while you're riding. Because, or sorry, that will be it. So you don't want your visor fogging up while you're riding. Now, one thing that Marcus and I have to carry with us at all times is a second visor. So we talk about not carrying extra things with us or unneeded items while we're riding. This is one item that we do need, but it does get a little bit awkward. So during the daytime, we want our tinted shield. We're going to put that on. But as we're riding home at night, it gets dark enough outside, we've got to pull over. And usually we'll do this with layering up when we're a little bit cold, but then we have to have some sort of holder for our other visors so we can put it away. So whether it's something like this, a little travel bag, a satchel, something to keep your visor clear of scratches and what have you. But now I have to put this in my saddlebag and it could get broken, it could get squished. Not necessarily the best thing. So transitional ends might be something that you like. So again, we went through skull bucket, 3/4 helmet, full face helmet, modular helmet. There's one more helmet that we would like to take you through, and I'm going to have Marcus talk to you about it. Another full face helmet, but the reason why we should wear a helmet, and Marcus can talk to experience with this. If you see this side looks great, but the side he's going to talk to you about is here.
Not so great. So, I was in a pretty gnarly accident when I was wearing this helmet, and I'm very thankful that I was wearing a full face helmet. I didn't realize till I got out of the hospital the next day that I would have been pretty beat up. I wouldn't look as pretty as I do today. So, as you can see here, it was hitting a few different places. So, I can't stress enough how important it is to wear a full face helmet everywhere you go. Whether it's just down to the end of the driveway, around the block, or even through states where you don't require a helmet, I would always wear one. I'm never going to hop on a bike and not wear a helmet ever again.
Okay, guys, if you've made it this far in our video, we'd really appreciate it here at Steel Mountain Moto. The three of us really appreciate you tuning in. If you would, please
like, comment, and subscribe.
Hit that bell.
so you get all the notifications of us uploading more content for you. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Let's see where our adventure takes you.
See you next time.
Peace.
Gold.
We're going for gold? Are we recording?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it live! Okay, anyway.
This one, not so great. So, I was in a pretty gnarly accident wearing this helmet.
Where's my beer?
It's over there, no?
Found it. Go ahead, Marcus.
So after Sherzy was done being a jackass.
Let's say where our adventure takes you.
I think it's up.
Let's see where our adventure takes you. So you gotta...
Cinema.
That's what you get.
Put it in. Jeez Louise,
I'll do
boy.
this.
Make sure that's
You're
out of the
over
way
there.
so you don't hear...
You're over there.
How is he going to give you the helmet?
How's he going to give you the helmet?